Hi everyone, so first I'm going to start off with category number uno, which is cultural. And for this category, I feel like I grew up in it, or grew with it, because I was able to differentiate which is work and which is personal stuff. So I'm using an example of class blogs right there on the side. And I feel like this is a good example because everybody is required to post academic work such as essays and our inputs on readings, so pretty much prompts for the week, and we have to turn them in on a specific due date. Though everything in this class is due on a specific time and date, but this one is generally or more on putting in our essays in, and the professor looks at what we've written on these essays. Second example I'm going to use overall is individual learning blogs, and that is personal or more personal. Everyone is supposed to write something in the ILB when the professor is asking for it, but this is where we get to express ourselves, and this is where we get personal. For example, this one right here, I put in my family digital literacy, and I was able to talk about my family, and people can comment on these and what they thought about my blog post for the day. So that's how I grew up in it, and I was able to differentiate. Number 2, which is the cognitive element, and I personally believe that I grew my element or cognitive element in this semester because I used a Google Drive suite and I played around with it, and by doing so I even made a PowerPoint right there, a video tutorial or a comparison video on how Google is different than PowerPoint, and I will show you a bit of the clip.
Hello everyone, so now this will be my final comparison to PowerPoint presentations, and this right here is called Google Slides or Google Presentations from the Google Drive Suite. This is my personal new favorite tool to use when it comes to using presentations for any class that I have that requires presenting something.
I don't want to take up too much of the time, but that is how I grew into my cognitive element. And on to number 3 of our digital literacy essentials element. For constructive, I feel like I grew in this category because of my digital literacy project proposal, which is right there on the side. And overall, I thought this proposal helped me crunch my ideas together into my final product, which is my digital literacy project. And with this proposal right here, I crunched in all these ideas together, how to use PowerPoint, comparing it to Google, talking about all these elements that will help me grow, and using all these apps right here, such as Screencast, PowerPoint, YouTube, Movie Maker, and finally making it into a product, and having a calendar time check, so on and so forth, will help me keep this project on task. And I feel like this is something that really helped me out with my constructive element because I was actually able to make my digital literacy project. So this one was a big part of, I personally believe this is a big part of my digital literacy essential element. And so for number 4, which is communicative, I feel like I really grew up in this topic because not only I knew how to communicate with my peers in person, I learned how to do so using all these applications such as Hangouts. And this one was greatly, like, my element was increased because I was able to talk to my peers through this app, and I will show you an example. I'm just gonna skip right over somewhere and play it.
Yeah, like suggested, so then we could, it's up to us to choose what we want, and then hopefully we choose for the better.
Yeah, I feel like also bouncing off what Ernesto said, like, we're so into individualism that when maybe someone would tell us we have to do something, we wouldn't really
And
accept
I feel
it.
like
we would
another
just
place where we can communicate with each other was through VoiceThread, and we were able to do peer reviews and tell them what was strong, what was weak in their essay. So I'll show you this video right here.
Things in your essay, and I'm gonna start off with your main idea and a thought that your main idea.
So overall, I greatly increased my element in this category because I really was able to communicate with people not only in person. And number 5, which is confident. I had a hard time with this topic or element because I am a very shy person, and so by talking about my artifact presentation and presenting it to people, I felt more comfortable because it was outlined for me. So using this type of not PowerPoint presentation, I was able to confidently present my digital literacy project, and it just talks about what I've done for this activity, all the tools I've used, why I chose this activity, and having that outline for me helped me present it more confidently. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what I have to put out there on YouTube, because posting YouTube videos takes a lot of guts because people criticize you, people talk about you. So posting this video, I was like hesitant, but learning how that I could just post something will make me feel better and confident next time I do something like this. So here's a little
Digital literacy project.
overall.
PowerPoint versus Google. I'm Rachel Tandinga, and this will be my digital literacy project. Questions that will be addressed.
So
What
it's
is
just
PowerPoint for
talking
first-time
about
users? What is
everything that
Google
I've
Drive
done with this
presentations for first?
PowerPoint.
Very
So I'm just
simple
gonna
to
skip.
do. It's not very challenging at all.
So it's all these
so for
elements
this one, you can
combined
just-
together, and there's PowerPoint, and then I just skipped, and
So,
then this
as an
is
example-
Google. So for this part, I feel more confident now that I'm doing all those videos, so this will probably help out in the future. And close to the end, which is number 6, which is creative. I felt like I grew in this part because using our individual learning blogs, we get to post whatever we want, and in those posts we are able to put in pictures which help us emphasize more. And so I've chosen all these pictures and put them all together in blogs that relate to what I'm talking about. And I feel like that's very creative. Like, not a lot of people post pictures, in my opinion, sometimes, but I feel like the ILBs really help out with our creativity because it talks about, or it makes us just post whatever we want. And again, using my digital literacy project, which you've already seen in the previous part, it also helped out grow into my creativeness. So in element number 6, which is creative, and I feel like I've grown in it, could grow more, but this is like a basis for me. So yes. So for the critical category of this element, I feel like I grew in it by all the readings we've done. Specifically, I picked one specific one, which was the contemporary sexuality, the teens to porn, and the digital age. I feel like all these readings we've done in class helped me realize that all tools aren't just great things, but they come with challenges as well. And reading this article helped make me realize that there are challenges that come all the time when it comes to having digital devices at hand. And another specific example I would probably show you is the Pew Study Report, all the facts, but I somehow can't find it. I was trying to look for it, but I don't know where it is. I've looked through my blogs, but if you guys remember the Pew report we presented in class, and that's pretty much what I have to say for this category. So for the last part, which is the civic element in Balshall's category, which I feel like I grew in this category by using, especially the Hangouts. I feel like doing group work is a good way to get in touch with others, not just in person, like I said, for the communicative part of this category. But this one was a specific idea, a specific topic that I feel like I really grew up on it, and it helped me realize by watching the videos like such as Digital Nation, they work through like online virtual worlds, and I feel like in the future that we need to be aware that all these things might change. Like people in the workplace don't have to meet in the office anymore, so they have all these things such as Hangout, Skype. All these webcams are made in every laptop now. And another thing also is that I feel like I grew aware and I know how to do stuff now is using the database activity. I don't have it on there, but it's one of the things that I also gained in knowledge through this element.